don't really know why it's not common practice, but I tend to just come in and steal a few potatoes from the plants and leave them growing still. That's what I've been doing recently, so we'll see if they keep producing them. If I find a smaller one, I just leave it in, but it's a nice big boy. We're just popping to our friend's house who has an abundance of plums, so we're gonna go pick some to make wine with, so I didn't want to go empty-handed. There's a few lakes here too. Iwan! That's why you don't film while cycling. I was wearing a helmet though, most important thing.
Boa tarde, everyone. It's warm today, but it's not as warm as it's going to be. We're going to have like potentially up to 45 degrees. Look what we got. Plums. Like we did last year, we're going to make some plum wine. We don't have too many plums this year, so I'm only going to try and make like 5 litres or so, just one demi-john's worth. So far they're just in water, just to give them a rinse. They're a bit hard, so I think a potato masher might not work on this. Yeah, we're just trying to limit like floaty bits really. Make our job easier towards the end of the process. You hear the golden oriole in the background. We've got a couple of different types. Look. I've got no idea what variety they are. That's not done much, but it's broken the skins a bit. Now we need to put 5 or 6 litres of boiling water onto it. The boiling water will kill all the bacteria, etc., etc., and help break down the skins a little bit. And then we need to leave it for 24 hours, and we will come back tomorrow. Brilliant. Oh, it's broken.
Having all these crazy clouds going on. Very much looks like there's a big storm brewing, and
Maybe.
The forecast is saying not, but I mean,
I'm saying maybe.
And Iwan's a cloud nerd.
I'm usually better than the weather forecast.
But you were telling me what this cloud is.
Can you see it? So you got the cumulonimbus one, which is the fluffy one at the front.
It's here.
And then behind it, you have a polar stratospheric cloud. It's basically winter up there.
You're saying that was quite a rare cloud?
You don't see them all that often, especially in Portugal. You see them in Wales quite a lot because we get loads of weather. But looking like we might get stormed on here.
Exciting.
Fingers crossed. Hope seeing as it's cooled down. We'll let the old chickens out for a little bit. They're not really boiling out anyway. Freedom! And we still have a broody girl. Not too sure what to do really. We keep trying to get her out every day for a little bit just to make sure she eats and drinks.
Just heading down to the garden, there's a few onions in the ground and the green tops have dried up on them, so they're still quite small, but I don't think they're going to grow any bigger. So I'm going to pick some and I'm going to attempt to make some pickled onions, which I have never done before, but is a British speciality, so we'll see how it goes. I've got a Diogo with me and the chickens are following too, so lots of help. This is what I mean. Actually, that one's a bit squishy. Maybe this isn't going to work. Oh no, this one is hard. I'm about to be stolen by Ali the chicken. You stay away from my spinach. You eat those ants instead. And these are some shallots, so I think I will try them with the onions as well. So I'm just peeling them all and then I'm going to cover them with salt and leave them overnight. Enjoying the cabbages too much. I'm just boiling up the jar now to sterilise it, and the sugar's all dissolved in the vinegar now, so I've turned the heat off on that. I'm just doing a really small batch of this because I only had a really small amount of onions that needed using up, and this is the first time I'm doing anything like this here, so I just wanted to check everything's working. But I was just remembering the last time I pickled something would have been about 12 years ago. When I first finished university, I decided to go work on an organic farm. I lived in a static caravan on my own in Mid Wales, in Aberystwyth, where I went to university, and we had an excess of cucumbers, so I made cucumber pickle. I had these 3 big jars of it. I was really proud. Hadn't tasted it yet, and I caught the train to go back home to North Wales, and I filled my rucksack with my big pickle jars to take home to show my family, and had to exchange trains. And at the station I just popped a balloon, put my rucksack on the back of the door and it fell off the handle. All 3 pickle jars smashed to pieces. Pickling vinegar leaked all into my bag. I went home the rest of the way stinking of pickling vinegar and being very upset that I never even got to taste my pickled cucumbers. So I don't know if you're noticing a theme, but I am a very clumsy human. I always drop stuff, fall over, like falling off my bike. Yeah, I'm often covered in bruises and things, so hopefully I will actually get to taste these pickled onions this time. Very proud. They're all floating. It looks really empty. And so as not to waste gas, I'm going to now use this hot water to do the washing.
Take this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mouses. That should probably do us, eh?
The last video we mentioned that the piece of land behind us had been offered to us for sale, and we had so many amazing comments. So yeah, it's been on our mind a lot. I'm going to take you over there now, just show you kind of a bit more what it's like. This is just our boundary back wall, so it's just up over here, and yeah, all your comments just got me thinking about how much we really need to figure out a way, because this is our house, and having this piece of land behind it, oh, it really would make a difference. And obviously it's something we would love to do, and I just thought, no, we can't do it. And all your comments made me reconsider that and think about how we could, you know, make it work. So yeah, we've got lots of thinking going on in the background of maybe things we can create and ways to try and pull some funds together. And you're all absolutely right that €10,000 for this piece is way too much, so we're going to approach the owners and see how low we can get them. It's just a small strip. It goes to these trees at the far back, and from looking on Google Earth we think it's around 1,500 metres squared, but with no building or anything on it. But it is beautifully maintained. Aspirational how well looked after this property is. This is the barn, this is the kitchen, this is the little lean-to, and that's where we normally sit under the umbrella. So we'd essentially be able to take this wall down, be able to access through here as well, and then I think we would put a gate on here. Already planning it all out in my head. But yeah, thank you guys for encouraging me to think more about it rather than just writing it off. We would have access here, so we'd be able to park here with a gate through. Just notice the chickens, they're going straight from our sweet potatoes. This well is absolutely terrifying, so another one that we would need to cover up, and I would say this would be more of a priority than any of the others. But yeah, just all the olive trees have had all their shooters taken off, and then there's these beautiful 2 rows of vines, and then at the very bottom there's a small pine forest. And then this piece of land here has also just been sold, and there is a house to do up down there, so hopefully we'll get nice neighbours. But it also means that there may also be some other interest in this. That was kind of why we said no, because we figured no one else would really want to buy it, because it's just a very small piece with no building. You couldn't get a habitation licence for it, I wouldn't think. It just goes down here. I'm not going to walk all the way. There's the well, there's our house. So watch this space, we may be expanding, we shall see. I do also have, that I'm going to try and plant out this evening, these 2 tomato plants that Sarah from Luke and Sarah's Off-Grid Life gave me, and she says they are the best tomatoes. I think she said they were orange plum tomatoes. I need to get them in the ground because I am very excited to try them. These guys don't seem to go for the tomatoes too much. I can't wait to get some fencing, but I feel like sacrificing my garden for letting them free range is worth it at the moment in exchange for the eggs. They just mostly go for the cabbages, the sweet potatoes, and then they scratch up around the potatoes.
24 hours later. So you can see we've got a bit of colour out of the plums. Now what we need to do is get fermentation going properly. I'm going to use some vintner's yeast, which I won't be using when make grape wine, at least not this year. If it all goes terribly wrong this year, then maybe next year, but probably not. Going to use this stuff, and that should just give a lot more of a plum flavour, a bit more fruity flavour, and just make the whole job a lot easier really. I need to add a kilo of sugar, but I'm going to add a little bit more because I don't have too many plums and they're a little bit not quite ripe, so they don't have as much sugar as they could. So I'm going to add a little bit more, and then a little bit of citric acid or a lemon. I'll first put some water into the yeast to rehydrate it. It doesn't really need it, there's plenty of water in there anyway. And go over that for a few minutes. Let's open this lid. Stewed plums kind of flavour. 1 kilo of cane sugar, white. A generous quarter, just over half. A gentle squeeze of a lemon. That should probably do. See how yeast's gone all creamy and funky. So now, don't smell it if you ever do this. Trusty kitchen spoon. Give everything a good mix. Smells good. I will now leave this with not too tight a lid on it, so that there is room for the oxygen to escape, or oxygen to escape, carbon dioxide to escape, whatever it is, and at the same time not explode. So we will pretty much give this a mix now, once a day for a week, and then in a week's time-ish, maybe 5 or 6 days, because it's quite warm at the moment, so it'll probably happen quite quickly. We will give it a good old smash together, and then give it another couple of days, and then we will press it, and then give it a couple of months, and then it should be all good. Last year it was a good success. little sausage. Oh, you're going here. Here. You good boy. You're such a good boy. Such a good boy. Such a good boy.
Just thought I would quickly show you how badass my bruise is after falling off my bike. Yeah, definitely no more of filming while cycling. Thank you so much for watching this week. I hope you have enjoyed it. We have got 9 days full of hot weather warnings with the temperature thermometer on the weather app, so hopefully we survive it and we'll see you next week. Bye.